So second video review for this week is for Sliding Doors by Karen Klein, which is her upcoming release. If you want to check out my Goodreads review, I did just post that the other day, so there is a link in the description below if you're on YouTube, or there is a link within the post if you're on my blog or on Facebook. And this is the video review. So Sliding Doors by Karen Klein. How brilliant was this? It's basically the story. Gemma, she's kind of at the end of her tether. She's desperate for a way out of her current life. She doesn't really want to be in it, and she receives an offer that she really can't refuse. So after a strange walk on the beach, Gemma finds herself in Alex's shoes, with all she'd ever wanted, and Alex hasn't a clue what's going on when she returns home to find two young children and a woman who thinks she's crazy for acting as if she's completely clueless and doesn't know that this is her life. Whilst Gemma's kind of living the dream, Alex is having an absolute nightmare, and she thinks it will never end. She genuinely thinks it will never end, and she has to find a balance to adjust to her new normal until she can prove that she's not Gemma. And I mean, I'm so intuitive. I mean, firstly, Karen's stories, they just keep getting better and better. Each time she brings out a new one, I'm really blown away by the amount of imagination she pours into them. And something that Karen is brilliant at, though, is parallel universes, parallel worlds. And once again, she's created a brilliant scenario for a story. This is amazing. And the concept behind this one is really innovative, like I say, and it's like nothing I've read before. I don't remember reading anything just quite like this. And it is actually something that absolutely fascinates me as well, that idea that there is something, that there is perhaps a parallel life somewhere that you're not aware of, and or a parallel world at least where you could exist and you just don't even know it. It was really interesting for me to really see Karen's perception of such a surreal and complex yet completely believable sci-fi type of idea. And I really do hope that parallel worlds like this exist, because that would just be so cool. I mean, not cool for the person in the other world if it's not great, but pretty cool to think that you're on a parallel with someone else. And I love that idea, and I love that concept, and I love the fact that Karen keeps exploring this in her books. I love it. It's something that I really like, and it really fascinates me. But the story, it had a lot of heart, had an important message as well. You never know what it's like walking in someone else's shoes, and the grass may be greener on the other side, but you don't know until you experience it for yourself. And sometimes that experience is more than you bargain for, if you do get the chance. And it was also about never giving up on yourself either. It was really important that Alex never give in and just believe that she was Gemma, because that's what people told her. You know, she knew something was wrong in her own mind, and she followed her heart. And everyone's worth saving, and they deserve happiness, and that may not be the happiness that they dreamed of or what they expected it to be, but they will find it. And I love that Gemma and Alex were the epitome of this, but how it also stretched across to Reese as well, Gemma's wife. It was just really interesting that you never knew what you needed. You just sometimes you don't know what you need, and fate will have a funny way of delivering it to you. Let's put it that way. And I love that. I absolutely love that premise, that whole idea behind this. And it really is another excellent story from Karen, a brilliant addition to her growing catalogue of novels. I'd really love it if we saw more from Alex and Reese in future. I'd love to see more from Gemma too, but I really felt like, because this book, although it started with Gemma, and it was very much about Gemma finding her escape, she got it. So then it became Alex's story very quickly about, like I say, believing in yourself, being true to yourself, and actually realizing that you weren't happy, and it took an act of fate to make you find what would make you happy. And Alex and Reese had a great dynamic when they initially met, and as their story developed. So I loved that as well. But I would love if we could see more from Alex and Reese in future. I'd love to know, and Gemma. I would love to know how they all ended up a little bit further along the line. And I really feel this was just an introduction to some great characters who have got more story to tell us in the future, hopefully. And I really highly recommend it. It's an amazing story. It really is. It's something very unique. Like I say, Karen, she has this she takes a sci-fi sort of phenomenon, I can't even say the word, and she applies it to everyday or real life, and then she brings it to life in really intuitive stories, really innovative and different stories to anything else sci-fi that I've read for this genre. And they're light-hearted as well. They're not too complicated. They're really easy to follow, and they're really realistic as well. What the characters go through, the experiences they have, extremely realistic, and I really like that. So I really felt a connection to Alex, especially Alex, I suppose, because I really felt for her. Like, there's nothing worse than feeling all off balance and not really understanding what's happened to you. You know, when you wake up and you just feel odd for a day and you're not really sure what happened. Yeah, that whole feeling wobbly, I loved it. She really portrayed it really well, and it was great. It was really, really great story. I can't really tell you too much about it because, again, the problem with things like this is if you say too much about them, you give away too much spoiler. But it's really worth reading, especially if you like sort of a lighter sci-fi. So you like a really realistic, otherworldly but realistic, real-time, present-day type of sci-fi. It was really good. So I hope you'll check it out. I'll pop a link in the description so that you can find out all the details about the book and when it's coming out. And if you do grab a copy of it, I hope you enjoy it. If you've read Sliding Doors by Karen Klein, then please comment on this video. Let me know what you thought of it. If you haven't read it yet, but you're planning to read it, it's on your to be read list or to buy list, or you really are interested in reading it, again, it would be great to hear your thoughts. And so comment below, get involved, and if you do read it, I really, really hope you enjoy it. Bye.